Major moves. We going all in, like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.
Welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys for actively deciding to spend time with me. I'm just a guy in a Spider-Man mask, a cool one I might add. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just providing information and content already on the internet, and I just read it and present it to you guys in a way that may reach you or may not reach you. Whatever the reason is you found my page, I'm grateful you're here, and thank you for spending time with me. Let's get into this. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I have a really fucking good segment for you today. I feel humbled to be able to present this guys to you, to be able to present this to you guys here. And if you think that I just came back from a run because I had my backpack on and my Captain America shirt on, I did. I just came back from a small 5K. But today has been humbling. After work, the last 10 minutes of my day was just wonderful. I was able to spend the last 10 minutes of my day just browsing, checking out stuff online, Googling, and I came across this, what I'm going to present to you guys today. And I want you to know that, I guess I didn't bring that up, but I could. Maybe, you know what, I'll make it a part two for this one here. I found evidence that, you know what, I'll show you that. I will show you that. Maybe. Either way. But right now, let's just go through this right now, and I'll make a part two. That's what I'll do. I'll make a part two and present that to you guys. Anyways, this here, and this is, honestly, this is a privilege to be able to show you guys this. You are seeing the behind the scenes making of this new financial system legitimately. When you think about it fundamentally, it's not you and I hanging around a table, shooting the shit, having a drink with our boys, you know, fucking around, having a joint, whatever it is you guys do, you know. You know, let's create the new financial system. Let's create the new global financial system, right? No, that's not happening. Developers aren't just hanging around. You know what, guys? We know so much about finance. I don't care how much finance you think you know. You don't know, right? You don't know. That's why it's not you and I creating this new financial system. These developers had been groomed to make this new system, and these bankers now that have sandboxes can play around in this. I guess not just a bunch of developers hanging out and sitting around shooting the shit, you know, on a Friday night. Hey, this is a good idea, and then we can add that, and then we can make it so it does this and that. No, these bankers are experienced individuals. They're the ones that know about this. These developers were groomed to be able to develop this, right? Companies like Ripple are littered with government entities. They're littered with banking entities. It's littered with the fucking treasurer. You know what I'm saying? Like people in Congress. Like this is set. I don't see you and I getting hired for those jobs. You know what I'm saying? So this here is from ISDB, which is Islamic Development Bank. All right. So what I want to show you guys here is down here. All right, this is Islamic Bank talking about this. Let's see what the topic is here. They're talking about decentralized finance, or DeFi, and it says by design, the financial industry follows a centralized model which imposes a heavy and costly intermediation. The latest technological advent has challenged the hegemonic position of the current financial institutions from different aspects, whether with money, legal tenders, through accountable, efficient, and secure ways. Despite regulatory challenges, the banking industry has already implemented pilot initiatives and even executed transactions based on digital currency in closed networks. The potential of DLT, distributed ledger technology, in banks in remittance for cross-border payments, currently dominated by SWIFT and Western Union, which could save about $4 billion a year and significantly reduce the number of intermediaries. So we're cutting out middlemen now. So to cut out middlemen, you're you're forming you're capitalizing on the market. You're cutting people out, right? Like you're getting rid of all these failed and falling banks. That's what's going on, all right? You're getting rid of the intermediaries. You're cutting these people out. Where was I? 4 billion. Ripple connects banks and payments. Why are they talking about them? Why is the Islamic bank, talking about Ripple? Okay, I'll Google Bitcoin, not Google. I will type in Bitcoin here for you guys, and we'll see if we get a Bitcoin or any other crypto company. Okay, provides via RippleNet through its own cryptocurrency and its patent non-distributed ledger, which relies on a limited ecosystem of correspondent bankings. The network can conduct cross-border payments settled in minutes rather than in days, as with current systems. The use case in the humanitarian sector, whether on digital identity, the WFP building blocks, I'm not sure what that is, or complementary cryptos, Sika in Nepal, I'm not sure what that is, are already providing strong basis for the technology capacity to broaden financial inclusion. So you see this already? Stimulate local and international exchange and create new opportunities for entrepreneurs and innovators. It has also highlighted the challenges pertaining to data privacy, the difficulty to have a full end-to-end system, and the legal and regulatory hurdles that can jeopardize its promise to improve efficiency, bureaucracy, cost, and cybersecurity related issues to safeguard the integrity of the system. All right, guys. Why is the central bank talking about using this company, right? People sit there and argue, oh, well, they don't have to use XRP. They don't have to use XRP. As a fucking central bank, why would you want to just use one thing? You're not just settling payments at that point. You can settle every fucking thing in the world. You settle everything because you can use any asset you need to use on your ledger, okay? It's not, we can just use, they can use any currency they want. It doesn't have to be XRP. Meanwhile, you get a currency like DOT. You get a currency like Cardano, you get a currency like Shiba, whatever the fuck it is. They're all in their own little walled gardens. They're all in their own little ecosystem that doesn't connect with anything else, all right? Not a thing. As a central banker, if you're settling with every fucking thing in the world, you have the option, and you better believe you want that option to settle with anything you fucking want, all right? Anything you want. Here we go. This is how RippleNet works, all right? This is a demo of liquidity provision with RippleNet. This is from 2018. It doesn't matter how old it is, all right? It's still, this is what RippleNet is. If they've added some things since then, perfect. Now you're getting ground level stuff at least, all right?
Many banks have over 1,000 active Nostro accounts that collectively hold hundreds of millions of dollars. This isn't uncommon. It's simply the cost of doing business in transaction banking. This creates several problems for banks. First, it's inefficient. The required funds for large Nostro networks are immense and sit idle. Second, it's costly. The unavoidable manual reconciliations result in high costs. And third, it's risky. The exposure to both counterparty and foreign exchange risk is high. And because of this, we know that solving for real-time payments is only half the battle. The other half is solving for our customers' global liquidity pain points. We're solving these pain points through RippleNet, a global network of financial institutions using the same technology, rules, and governance. Through RippleNet, we're helping customers overcome their liquidity pain points in two ways. First, through flexible options to support customers' existing liquidity arrangements, as well as to supplement them with new arrangements, including third-party liquidity and settlement through digital assets. Second, through pathfinding, which is the ability to link multiple liquidity arrangements in a single transaction, smart routing across the network to gain a variety of net new benefits. Banks can choose between a number of liquidity arrangements to optimize for costs, risks, and capital efficiency. Let's overview the three liquidity arrangements supported by RippleNet. First are bank-to-bank fiat relationships, also known as Nostro account relationships. We support this model so that customers can leverage their existing relationships. This enables the banks that are provisioning liquidity to earn FX revenues, making it ideal for strategic high-volume corridors. With this liquidity arrangement, Bank A and/or Bank B would have a Nostro account with the other bank, pre-funding it in the destination currency. Or there could be a credit relationship with the two banks. Second are third-party liquidity arrangements, which allow banks to rationalize their Nostro relationships, keeping only relationships they want versus the ones they need. This enables banks to overcome the costs from corridors where liquidity can be expensive. This is an ideal option for medium volume corridors. With this liquidity arrangement, a third party would open foreign currency accounts at both financial institutions for them to use for payout in each country. Third is the ability to settle payments via a digital asset, XRP. XRP's speed, scalability, and cost make it the ideal bridge asset for cross-border payments. This allows banks to grow their payments volume and reach without accumulating more direct liquidity relationships. With XRP's trading volume at higher daily average than most exotic currencies, it makes it an ideal bridge asset for payments into exotic corridors. With this liquidity arrangement, each bank either holds XRP directly or leverages an exchange to source XRP. This serves as an on-demand, fungible liquidity pool that can be used for payments. RippleNet resolves today's liquidity pain points in these ways. It's more capital efficient. The diverse options for liquidity provisioning allow banks to shrink their Nostro network. It costs less. The atomic pass-fail processing automates reconciliations, saving 60% in operational costs. And finally, it reduces risk. The real-time settlement and fewer direct relationships decrease overall risk. At Ripple, we're not just solving for better technical connectivity between banks, we're also solving for the other side of the equation, global liquidity. To learn more, please contact us at ripple.com.
So tell me, what other companies do you know that are out there trying to solve global liquidity? I'll wait. You know, we know about XLM. We know about... Where the fuck is my mouse? There we go. We know about XDC, but they're all being utilized different, not the exact same way. So let me come back here. I told you I was going to type in Bitcoin. Let's see how many times it says here. Okay. Let's see what this says. What heading is this under? There we go. The smile curve, figure 14. The smile curve and the impact of digitalization. Okay. Let's see what it says. DLT can be defined as a digital system for recording the information to avoid tampering. A digital system to record, okay? It records. That's what it does, is it records. That's all it does. It achieves that by simultaneously deploying and maintaining databases across several locations or among multiple participants through a consensus protocol, unlike traditional databases that have one central data store or administration functionality. Blockchain is a subset of DLT in that it represents a particular protocol that uses blocks of data that are rubber stamped using a cryptographic signature called a hash. There are other protocols that enable the network to reach a consensus beyond the blockchain, and the technology is yet to mature. The most plausible evolution will be that the context requirements will drive the protocol adoption, and we can image various protocols in different contexts. Blockchain, what does it say? With one of its first applications in the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, has revealed the potential of the technology as well as its drawbacks on scale. Alright, so they have good things to say about Bitcoin, and they're recognizing some failures or some drawbacks for Bitcoin now that it will not be able to do for what they want it to do, okay? And reveal the potential of the energy as well as its drawbacks on scale, emergency energy consumption and reward model to sustain the network. So the reward model will be mining for Bitcoin, right? It's a negative thing. It goes against the narrative right now, the green narrative. You're mining for Bitcoin using all that energy. Meanwhile, a few months ago, you had like France in the blackout. You had Brazil in blackouts. Argentina's going in blackouts. You had all these things taking place. Klaus Schwab talks about an angrier world. There's a lot out there to make you angry right now, right? Energy is a big one with that. Don't fall for the narrative. People will use Bitcoin. It'll be something to trade back and forth. It's not a store of value. It just like it says there, it keeps track of this moved to here and that moved to there. At this time, it's just a movement of data protocol. That's all it is. That's all it does. There's no value that it stores. All right, that's not my words either. That's what these individuals say. So here we are, March 2021. Accelerating trade digitalization to support MSME financing. Deepash Patel. All right, let's see who's in this. We haven't gone through the international chain of commerce yet. We've taken a quick dive into Trade Finance Global. We've looked at World Trade Organization. If you guys haven't heard of these and you're new to my channel, please go watch a few videos prior to this one here, and you'll see who they are and what they do. Alright, so we're just going to do the same thing here, alright? Bitcoin. Let's see what they say about Bitcoin. Where is it? I don't even know where it is. Why do I know where it is? Because I can't see shit with all this fog. There she is. Okay. Thanks for the patience. When cryptocurrencies were originally conceptualized in the wake of 2008, the financial crisis, that's not when they were first made. It wasn't just, let's make this over a weekend and toss this out. This is years of planning for Bitcoin to exist, okay? Don't believe these hype stories. That Bitcoin came out at the perfect timing. It wasn't some guy in his garage. Oh shit, I gotta fucking get this code out, man. I need to get Bitcoin out now. No, this was a coordinated effort. Alright? Again, it's not you and me sitting in the garage shooting this shit, playing pool and talking about let's make a digital currency and all these layers in it. Alright? That's not real. They seemed able to address many of the shortcomings and inefficiencies of the cross-border payments. This is the dumbed down. Bitcoin is the dumbed down financial system, right? The bare bones that we needed to be able to do this, and this, and that's all it can do. And we don't want it to be able to scale. So remittances and fiat currencies devaluation have driven cryptocurrency in the developing countries, in particular Africa, right? Ripple is in Africa, XLM is in Stellar's in Africa, XDC. I don't know if they're in Africa. Don't let me say that. I don't know yet. I haven't seen that. Unfortunately, many of these original crypto assets like Bitcoin suffer from severe price volatility. Think about that. Like people want to buy coffee. I don't know why people want to buy coffee. That's always the first example. Or that idiot pizza guy. You want to buy shit with your investments. Why? Why would you take your racehorse that you've just bought now as an NFT, which is a real horse too, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a coffee with, like, come on, that's fucking stupid. Enter stablecoins. A stablecoin has many of these features as a cryptocurrency, but it stabilizes its price by linking its value to a certain pool of tangible assets. Stablecoins are particularly popular in East Asia as a result of the Chinese government's decision in 2017 to ban exchanges for yuan for cryptocurrencies, according to the Chainalysis 2020 Geography of Cryptocurrency report. Very interesting. Did I pull that up? Yeah, I did. Okay. So, you know what? Let me just switch this around. Since we're talking about stablecoin, let's look at this, okay? This is Payments Canada. All right, here. That's Payments Canada. Who is Payments Canada? Okay, let me tell you who Payments Canada is, okay? I'll tell you who Payments Canada is by talking about who their governing council is, essentially. So this is the Bank of Canada's website. This is Retail Payments Supervision, okay? This is telling you what the Bank of Canada is not doing, okay? So retail payments. Learn about the Bank of Canada's role in supervising payments, service providers, next step, and how you can get involved. It's not for us, all right? Under the Retail's Payment Act Activities Act, the RPAA, the bank will be responsible for supervising payment service providers, or PSPs. The aim is to build confidence in the safety and reliability of their services while protecting end users from specific risk. Yeah, right. They create those risks, all right. They mitigate the risks for themselves by pushing that onto us, right? And if you're dumb, then you get wrecked in the process. And I understand that because I've gotten destroyed on a couple occasions when I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not saying I know what I'm doing by any means. I'm still just learning. I'm very nimble. I'm learning as I go. The Department of Finance Canada is leading the development of regulations for the supervisory framework with support from the bank. So proposed regulations to help clarify details of the RPAA have been published in Part 1 of the Canada Gazette. So, their framework. To fulfill our obligations under the RPAA, we developed a framework for retail payment supervision that explains how we will supervise PSPs to determine if they comply with the Payments Act, promote compliance, monitor and evaluate trends and issues in the payments systems. What we won't do now. So this is what they will do. This is what they won't do. So then who is doing what they won't do? We will not supervise financial businesses or payment systems that are prudentially regulated by federal or provincial laws, such as commercial banks and credit unions, all right? That's not who the bank is going to govern. They will not govern them. They govern the people who govern them, all right? We will not offer broader consumer protection, such as dispute resolution between a payment service provider and an end user, whether that's another business or whether that's you or me. Whatever that is. That's the PSP that needs to look after that. It's the governing body of the PSP, the one who creates the framework for that. Because Bank of Canada does not do that. All right. Our role is not geared toward preventing PSPs from failure or insolvencies. So we're not to prevent that. If it's happening, we're just gonna sit back and let it happen. But that's not happening in the States, is it? No, man. These guys are stepping in and propping up stuff. So are they doing that now? Or is PSP a new term? I don't know how old PSP is. Is PSP a new term where they called something else before and they were bailing these out? And now that they're known as PSPs, they cannot bail them out? Is that what's going on? So are these old banks not PSP? Is that what that is? The ones who used to govern these... Questions. Unlike a licensing program, this supervisory framework will not enable us to authorize firms to operate as a particular type of entity. Canada's Minister of Finance will be responsible for conducting a national security review of PSPs. A national security review of the PSPs. That's interesting. So now that you know who Bank of Canada is and what they will not be doing, we're going to Payments Canada. So Payments Canada, or Canadian Payments Association, carrying on business under the brand name Payments Canada, is an organization that operates a payment clearing and settlement system in Canada. The Canadian Payments Association was established by the Canadian Payments Act in 1980. Among other responsibilities, it regulates and maintains directories of bank routing numbers in Canada. So that's what they do, okay? In 2016, Payments Canada system was cleared, and settled 7.4 billion. When was that? In 2016. Billion payments totaling over 50.8 trillion in 2016. Or 201.5 billion on average each business day. Jesus. Wow, in 2016. Holy shit, it's only gonna go up from here like that. That's an eye fucking rubber for sure, man. Payments Canada. Wonder if we can invest in you. Shit. I wonder if they're tokenized now. Are they a tokenized company? I wonder. Well, they can't be. They've been created by the government, so they're not. They are private. Yeah, they're not gonna go. Yeah. Yep, was a thought. Okay, off my thought. Here we go. So here. Now we know who Payments Canada is, how cross-border payments are evolving. This is 2019. So I'm going to do the summary and then jump down. I'm going to skip down, okay? With cross-border transactions having accounted for 23.7 trillion globally in 2018, the bulk of which consisted of corporate payments and the need for payments systems operators and payment service providers to facilitate seamless cross-border payments at scale has never been greater. Particularly, the continued expansionary growth in e-commerce, both B2B, bank to bank or business to business, and P2B, isn't it? Peer to business, cross-border retail payments, further highlights this need or more attention to be placed on cross-border payment activities and how the ecosystem is evolving and finding efficiencies with which to facilitate such transactions. Okay, what is a cross-border payment? Really quickly, I know most of you guys might know. Again, for the new people that are joining, because I do have some new people that joined the family here, I just want to get them up to speed too. A cross-border payment is a transaction in which funds are sent from an entity in one country to a recipient in a different country. In most cases, the sender and the receiver of the payment do not share a common ledger, and transactions between the two countries involve a series of intermediary transactions. So me out in Canada will not be the same ledger that out in Africa they're on, all right? So we know that now. So here we go here. So now we learned about cross-border payments. Here we are at stablecoins for cross-border payments, all right? You heard me. Not just an agnostic bridge currency, a stablecoin for cross-border payments. Look at this shit, all right? Payments Canada. Stablecoin refers to a class of digital currencies which are relatively stable in terms of their price. Stablecoins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments as many cryptocurrencies do. They also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. Two digital currencies that fall into this category are RippleNet's native digital currency XRP and Stellar Network native cryptocurrency, the Stellar Lumens XLM. Both Ripple and Stellar enable fast and more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. All right? So that works hand in hand with it. It works hand in hand with the correspondent banking. And when it's ready to lay that correspondent banking to rest in 2025, cryptocurrency can just do what it needs to do at that point, because they've let go of the legacy system, right? They've let it go in 2025 November. It's stated to happen for Canada. However, they differ in that Ripple is focused on improving cross-border settlements between international banks, whereas Stellar is focused on providing low-cost cross-border payment financial services to the end user and the unbanked population. All right. So which one do you guys think would offer more money? All right. It's going to get really interesting, actually, to determine that. How do I get to my page? I always forget how to do that. It's not that. Nothing's loading up. Huh. I wonder why that is. Okay, I had some things to show you guys, but nothing's loading up here. Yeah, no, this is being glitchy. Glitchy. Okay, I want to show you guys those as well, but check this shit out, okay? Check this out. I told you Swift is dying and 2025 is going to be out. Sorry guys, I got on this now and I need to do this for you guys. You need to see this. Just so you can see I'm not talking out of my butthole here. All right? I care about you guys and I want you to, just bear with me for a minute while I get my stuff together here. Is this it? So here.
Of ISO 2022. What's next then for links?
So what we're looking at from this point.
So the links software, the links system is used by Volante, and that's in collaboration with Volpay, which Ripple is a partner to Volante with, for that ecosystem, for the Volpay ecosystem. Okay. So when they talk about links, that's what they're talking about, the Canadian high value payment system.
Forward, we've defined a coexistence period, which will take us until November of 2025. So we continue to support the legacy messages that we've introduced as part of Release 1 for links, the Swift MT messages. And with ISO 20022, we're providing flexibility for our financial institutions to migrate over time. We're really pleased that following the implementation of Release 2, roughly about 50% of the payments are being settled using ISO 20022 messages. So we'll continue to support the community and our financial institutions through the coexistence period as they move and migrate more payment traffic, as they look to introduce more capabilities and support for their customers over the coming years, and really work very closely to plan for the end of coexistence. So working in lockstep with what Swift has communicated to the broader industry from a global community for the...
So you heard that? Working in lockstep. Who are they working with? Who else are they working with, right? The U.S.'s coexistent is in 2025 as well in November. So they're all working together. You heard him say that. They're working in lockstep with Swift's directions. So Swift is the one coordinating this ending period here, okay? You heard him say that. For 2025 November.
End of November 2025 for the end of the coexistence. That really will be a large focus for us over the coming years, looking to plan for the enhancements and changes that come along with that and support the industry throughout that period.
All right. So we heard that. This guy here talking about the link system being utilized there. This here, right, this is our Augustine Carstens. And in this little clippet here, this is what he says, okay? Some crypto interact with the traditional financial system. These should be valued and regulated. Crypto was used as an alternative to money. Crypto was used, all right? So Bitcoin, that was Bitcoin. Bitcoin was used as an alternative to money. When things had gotten bad, what did they do? What did people do? They went to use Bitcoin. The Canadian truckers, when the Canadian dollar was locked out and people couldn't get to their wallets, and they couldn't get out to their wallets, what did they do? They used Bitcoin. And then they were able to shut down the whole Bitcoin process for them. So Bitcoin is not this. Bitcoin is the what they want you people to believe it is. That's what they talk about Bitcoin, and have given it clarity already, because people will go to, they'll follow rules. That's what they do. They follow rules. And Bitcoin is the rule. That's what that is. So people will go with Bitcoins. Anyways, listen to what he says here, okay? I think that the battle has been won. Tech doesn't make for trusted money.
And that's something that we focusing on.
This guy is the head of the BIS, okay, the Bank of International Settlements. This is Augustine Carstens.
On the exchanges. The exchanges are key. How some of these activities interact with the traditional financial system. Some should be valid, some should be tolerated, and those are the ones we should regulate.
What do you think is impacting the views of central bankers the most right now when it comes to...
So we saw XRP and XLM get called cryptocurrencies as well. We saw Bitcoin called cryptocurrencies. No one had used XRP and XLM to go around and skirt around the banking system at all. A lot of people don't believe in them. They show the chart and say, look at this. From my knowledge, after their run-ups and they come back down after those testing, they've been stable. Look at the charts, and they had another run-up and came back down, and they're stable. So my question is, what's been going on in those charts? What's happening at that time? What's spooling it up? Why? And then it's been stable ever since. Through this whole pandemic, with the value of everything dropping, right? These things are still stable. All right. When you watch Extra Vote, when you watch Good Morning Crypto, they always go over the prices. Who else does? The Bearable Bull does, I believe. There's a few people that go over the price point of XRP and XLM. And as redundant as it seems, it'll be nice to reflect back later on in your life and recognize that shit, I got this stuff when it was like 50 cents. For me, it was like I averaged down from a buck down to the 50 cent range. So, because I initially caught wind of this when it was up at $1 something, and I was like, shit, I need to get as much as I can. But listen,
the crypto ecosystem, I mean, how much of it has to do with the FTX incident, for instance?
Well, a few years ago, crypto assets and cryptocurrencies were in a way put as an alternative to fiat money. I think that battle has been won. Technology doesn't make for trusted money. The most important aspect is for these activities not to have a systemic impact. I mean, at the end of the day, if this grows dramatically and we have events like FTX, that at some point could have a systemic impact. And that's something that we want certainly to prevent.
India, which is hosting the G20, is pushing for greater regulation on cryptocurrencies. What conversations are you expecting at the G20, and where are they in those conversations?
I would say the most important body of the G20 that has to do with financial activities is the Financial Stability Board. The Financial Stability Board, where ministers of finance, regulators, central banks get together and they decide, I would say, the main rules of the game, I would say, for the international financial system. I anticipate a strong statement in favor of regulation. It will be up to each country to decide which particular approach they will follow in terms of the alternatives that there are out there.
bam, that to me is fire. Pure fire. Where are we at? Here. So, any accepted type of currency or asset can be used to transact. Did I read this already? No, probably not. I don't know. Anyways, here on the Ripple network. Therefore, cross-border payments using Ripple are essentially Ripple gateway transactions using XRP. Each transaction requires a small fraction of XRP to be destroyed in the process. It makes it deflationary, like a minuscule amount. XRP just decreases over time and, in theory, maintains its value. Whatever that value is that it becomes, it'll stay that value because it burns some off relative to the amount being moved and spent. All right. By contrast, so my buddy had done a bit of digging, and supposedly that XRP is slated to, or mathematically calculated to, last 70,000 years. I don't know if that's true. I don't know based off of what growth factor they're including this in this calculations. I'm not sure. So any accepted type of currency or asset can be used to transact on the Ripple network. Therefore, cross-border payments using Ripple are essentially... Oh, I read that. By contrast, Stellar enables individuals and users to trade money directly with each other across jurisdictions, using entrusted intermediaries to handle FX and fund transfers. Transactions confirmation time using Stellar has been observed to range from 1,000 transactions per second to approximately 10,000 transactions per second in 2016. Barclays in Africa, I told you Africa's in this, okay? And Deloitte pilot, so number 27, whatever that is. So Stellar's transaction fees remained a fixed rate at look at that, per transaction, thereby making XLM cost effective for retail cross-border payments. Me sending you money, me paying for, that bike, that whoever the person is that made it in China, right? And they're shipping it directly to me now. All right, I'm not on my system and that system sending it over to China and China's now clearing it. No, it's immediate from me to whatever that company is now. Okay. I think there was a few, not that, this here, okay? So this is cross-border fast payments. So now we know that Stellar and XLM and XRP are stablecoins. They're also agnostic bridge currencies. So they operate as a stablecoin in the fact that they have a stable value, because we learned that XRP burns a certain amount to keep it a stable value. So it's a stable coin, right? It can convert into any currency that you need. It's global. It's a global stable coin. Does that make sense to you now? It's global. It's whatever you need, whenever you need it, at wherever you need it, however you need it. It does what you need. It's a global stable coin. XLM is a global stable coin. XDC, I have to look into that further, but I believe that to be a global stable coin too. And in regulations coming this July, that it's slated for regulations. Here we go, okay? Regulations coming this July. Let me show you guys this. I want to make sure you guys are ready for this coming to Jesus moment happens. I don't know if it's happening based off of this or based off of what, but okay. Where is it? All right, today's going to be a nice deep dive show for us here, for this family here. And if you're not part of this family, you're going to miss out. Like, this is just fire. I'm sorry. This is fucking fire. That's not it. I'm going to show you when regulations is, okay? No. No. Here we go. Here we go. This is from JP Morgan. Okay? Right here. The FSB, Financial Stability Board, issued 10 high-level recommendations for regulation, supervision, and oversight of the global stablecoin arrangements in October 2020, including ensuring that GSC, global stablecoin arrangements, have appropriate recovery and resolution plans. Policymakers have raised concerns about the potential challenges in using digital money across borders, given the distinct regulatory requirements of particular jurisdictions. All right, you're not going to get this shit anywhere else. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sorry. I'm happy for you guys that you're getting the truth and what's going on. Again, they're not beer drinking motherfuckers on the weekend shooting pool, shooting the shit. This is what they're doing. They're creating this here. The FSB reports report calls for completion of international standard settings work by December 2021 and the establishment of national level regulatory, supervisory, and oversight framework by July 2022, with international standards set by July 2023. All right, so that's when the GSC will be implemented. What it's going to do to XRP, XLM, XDC's price, I'm not sure, but I'm sure if you check the charts right now, it might be rather interesting for a build-up to something happening. I'm not sure if these are now mechanisms to keep the price level at that point, because instead of just using it in this area here, say in Africa, and using it in this area here, and so and test, and using it over here to test, and using it over here to test, and only this area has the real time gross settlement going on here, so it keeps the price of XRP and XLM, XDC rather stable. But then eventually you're going to disperse it, and it's going to be global at that sense. To what extent they're using it, I don't know. Is it a pilot at that point? Is this just the regulatory framework for the pilot? So now they can get to the next phase of their implementation and use it as the pilot globally speaking, so they're not just in the small jurisdiction, right? Because you don't want to go too big too quick, right? You want to do it properly. Sample this population. Get bigger. Sample this population. Make sure it holds. Sample this population. And you want to grow with it. Right, so now they have global regulatory oversight coming this July. So what does that mean in terms of, is it because of now those bilateral agreements? So now it can be used bilaterally. It doesn't have to just be used in the east side of the world here, right, where they're making small payments for people. Like, people think that, yeah, they're settling, such and such $1 trillion, and that might keep it stable at what the price is right now, right? When they move into the quadrillions for everything that's going to be on these ledgers, like, who knows what it's going to be? You can tokenize, like, everything. Wholesale is getting tokenized first. There's some fashion companies that are tokenizing things right now, but that's still small time because it's going to take some time to train the retail investor. They know nothing about cryptocurrencies. And the ones that do know about cryptocurrencies, they're buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum will be around. It'll have use case. And I guarantee you, Bitcoin will have its use case, singular, of being a data movement enabling device, and the non you and me of the world, but stature like us, they'll be buying Bitcoin because they're trying to hoorah and whatever. Yeah. So, okay, what does this say here? So we talked about stablecoins now. Now here we talk about currency agnostic ledger system capable of enabling transaction in every type of currency. Although Ripple has its own form of digital currency known as XRP, you can trade any other virtual currency or conventional printed currency by using its system. So there's my proof that you can convert this into anything you need it to. And I gave you my proof by these regulators talking about it being a stablecoin, XRP, XLM being stablecoins, specifically those two. They are global stablecoins. I showed you how they meet the definition of a global stablecoin, okay? You don't have to take my word for it. I'm excellent at finding documents, piecing the puzzle pieces together here, and making this, to present an excellent case for my theories here. All right. So if you remember the beginning here, I told you that Ripple and them they're not designed by a bunch of beer drinking people in a garage. They are high level people. They are bankers. They are government entities. They are these people, right? They are these people. They are positions of powers, okay? So let's see who's Ripple's team actually is. Ripple, enabling the Internet of Value. This is an old one here. Their team members haven't changed. They've expanded. So team members include JP Morgan, Citi, Swift, HSBC, Visa, Accenture, PayPal, Prosper. Prosper was Chris Larson's company, okay, that he had created. Technology now, we have Google, Apple, Yahoo, Bloomberg, and NASA. Here look what we have for regulators. We have the Federal Reserve, we have the SEC. They're already partners. And we have the NSA, all right? I keep hearing, I haven't checked it myself to confirm it, but I've heard Crypto Hulk say that David Schwartz came from the NSA. Gary Gensler is with the SEC. He's the one right now currently in the court case against Ripple. I know I've showed you guys this before, but I'm going to show you again, okay? In terms of how they are working together. So you see how they're separate, and now we're going to see how they're working together, okay? There we go. So we're going to the Financial Stability Board Steering Committee. I've showed you guys this on a few occasions. Now it might just be just putting the pieces together for you to make it work. This is the Steering Committee, all right? This is the committee that makes the decision. This is the group, the forum, the think tank that come together and they're steering. They're persuading, they're recommending, they're saying, this is what we think you should do. This is what you should do. And then the bank regulators, they come together and they go, well, actually, this guy is from the bank. There's a bunch of people here from the bank. And after this think tank, they go back to their bank and say, this is what we're doing. Okay, guys, this is what we're doing. And they're taking information from each. There's different banks. They're all their respective banks. You have the International Monetary Funds as well. You have the BIS there. You have all of the central banks as well. So they all come together and they have that main or that central person that comes together with each. They are the top of the top in terms of what they do with what is happening with this technical shift now. All right. Where is it? I'll show you that. SEC. They're partners. Look, Gary Gensler, Chair Securities and Exchange Commission. Gary is working with the Financial Stability Board. Ripple works with the regulators. These guys are a regulator. This guy came from Ripple. Rosie Rios is from the Treasury. These guys aren't, Rosie Rios isn't leaving to go work for some rogue company trying to fight the system, man. Trying to, down with the people. We want to be free. They're not working. Come on. Be fucking real here. Be real. I don't know what kind of world people think we live in, but it's not that world. All right. So, with that being said, what crypto can do for us in our life, this is the CFTC. Listen to what this guy has to say.
Suggest retail gold and S&P E-mini futures, where retail long open interest ranges from 5% to 11%. These studies suggest the amount of retail participation in the digital asset futures market is more than double that in any other futures markets. The barrier to entry in the digital asset space is lower than traditional financial markets, and crypto presents an opportunity to build wealth by those who have found themselves historically shut out.
You heard that? You heard that? That's you and me of the world. We have been historically shut out. And now because crypto exists and it's low, we have the chance to create wealth. This guy from the CFTC here knows what's going on. They know. right? They know. I'm just putting the pieces together here to help you guys see the bigger picture. I'm doing for you guys what I wish somebody would have done for me. Instead, I had gotten scammed. I had lost money. I had, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where to start. And now that I'm here, I will not leave. This is what this has become a passion of mine. Right after my run, down here making a video. I love you guys. This is awesome. I have more to come back. Until the next one. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right?
Major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.